Hello, welcome to the first project update in a long time. Um, all right, so today I'm going to talk about a big change I made to the save system. It is one of many things that I've done over the past month and a bit. I was not doing nothing. I promise you, I was working on the project pretty much an hour almost every day over the past like month or so. I just didn't really. I was just kind of I was too lazy to upload to record and upload videos for a long time, and I thought, you know what, I kind of owe you guys something at the very least a progress update. So I also haven't contributed to the my Git repository for a long time. You'll see all these yellow and green files, which means I've made edits to them on the list here. I'm not going to go over all of them. I'm just going to show you mainly because it's mostly little things here and there, and also it's still like a work in progress. But the thing I want to talk about today is the big change I made to the save system, and this is implementing some things that I learned actually at work. So at work, I've been I'm not going to say too much about my job, but I've been learning how to use ASP.net based or not yeah ASP.net based well, that's probably the right word, entity model data systems, and I've been working on overhauling my save system to make use of that kind of thing. So on the left here you'll see a model, what we call a model, that has all the data for what is going to go into a save file: currency amount, max currency, pretty much everything. Some dictionaries for like miscellaneous values, quests, and items. And then you'll have level save data, which is like a per level thing. You'll see over here there's like a dictionary containing string with a string as key, and the level data model as basically a per level data storage system. So these are, I'm saying that. So models are just data. All of the variables here are public. However, the when you manip when I in the game, when you change or read from the save files, you're not actually using. It's not actually going to use the so it's not actually going to go directly from these models. Instead, it's going to go to this intermediary um, other script that has basically all the same values. Oh, that's the wrong one. This is the wrong script. Here's the right one. It has all the same values except for it's all private. And the point behind this is to make it so that is to basically prevent bugs related to issues with like manipulating data that's like in the save file as it's like active. Let's say I make a change, or I write a script that makes a change that kind of breaks a rule somewhere. So by making everything here private and having these other methods that basically getters and setters, I can enforce rules and keep track of when different values are accessed, and I have a method that packs everything in here and puts it into a model so that I can save it to a file. And then I also have an unpack. Well, it's literally just a constructor. If you know anything about object-oriented programming, you know what that means. It's basically a special method that creates an instance of an object with an input. And yeah, that is the. Actually, I'm going to talk about some other things that's also related to data. I also have session data. None of this gets stored. The whole point is that is like a if I want something to be kind of temporarily saved until the player quits the game, it'll you'll have like I'll have like a temporary spot to save it until I decide to like get rid of it. And I have a dictionary with a string as the key, and object, which can be a float or int or another string or a bool as the value, of course. And I have like a default value system. Let's see if I can find an example of a script that accesses. Okay, I have check int. So this is something. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. So pretty much every single, not every single, but most of the nodes in my game system that are capable of like checking or manipulating save data, you can set them as either, or I can set them as either main save data, which puts them in the save data model, level save data, which puts them in the level save data model, or session data, which puts them in the session data, or local data, which actually I have it explained right here. Data is temporarily stored for as long as the current level remains loaded. Session data is stored for this game session. Session data will be cleared when the game is closed or when loading a different save file. Level save data is still stored in the level save data container within the save file. It's to be stored in the save file, but only be accessible within that level, or if that level is specified. Main save data data stored in the main save data values container. This will be stored in the save file and will be accessible at any time with the key. I'm going to see if I can show you an example of that, not necessarily in action, but at the very least in the editor. Let's find a good scene. Let's do hometown. Actually, no, let's do home. Here's a very good example of that here. All right, so this character here, interactable, check if talk to mom. All right, so talks to mom is an ID for a Boolean, which is a true or false for whether you've talked to her or not. If you have, it'll run talks to mom. If otherwise, it'll run not talk to mom. And depending on which of the, so here's the save data type here. There's main save data, which means that it'll be stored in the main container. That's level. This is mostly just for organization, but session data and local data are for like, of course, session and local. This has always been kind of implemented in like a really crappy way before, but yeah. So basically, I've been going through all the scripts and that manipulate save file data and trying to make them conform to this system that I've created. And yeah, that's one of the things that I've done over the past month or so. Actually, I'll show you one more thing. There's a character model I'm working on that's still a work in progress. Basically just a generic scientist character, kind of inspired from like Half-Life, but more cartoony, of course. Body is basically modeled. I just need to work on the textures. And yeah, that's probably all I'm going to show you today. I'm not sure if I'm going to make another video tomorrow. Part of the reason I haven't, I mean, I did say that I was before that I was just kind of lazy, and that is true. But it's also because I don't think I've done anything that's really worth making a video on, per se. Like, it's hard to like talk about code in my opinion, unless it's like done and relatively easy to explain. I don't know. But yeah, anyways, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.